Hello, welcome back. Today we're doing a bowling alley and a quick little disclaimer of sorts. I see on the top left of the screen it says 50's Bowling Alley and Bar, and that was a lot I downloaded from the gallery to get inspiration, and so the roof design came from that build, and I don't remember exactly at the top of my head who the creator, what their ID is, but that is the name of the bar and the bowling alley. But I will leave it in the description below in case you want to check out what my reference was for this build. Now, another disclaimer: what you see, as you've seen in the intro, the little what is it? I guess the not reference, but the short tour, that was the wallpaper I ended up sticking with. What I ended up doing here is, you're going to see later on, is that the wallpaper was different than what the final result is. So, and I liked what I first was going with, but I felt that because it's in the world of Oasis Springs and I used darker wood tones instead of that lighter one that you saw in the beginning, I felt that that darker tone would fit better in a world like San Sequoia, I believe this was called, and like stuff like that. So I ended up lighting it, or making it lighter, which I ended up liking more at the end. I felt that definitely helps, especially because the builds around are lighter, like for example the Whitechapel, the restaurant also has white, except for that little vacation rental home area is not, it's gray but still a cooler tone. So yeah, I think that's all I made for changes. Oh, another thing I want to say is, because of the, I'm not sure if it has to do something with the roof pieces I've used, but the lighting on the ceiling was very weird. It was very patchy. Some spots were darker than the other. So that is one thing I was trying to fix, but I just couldn't get it to work. So I just kept it as is, which is, I mean, it wouldn't be that big of a deal since, oh, this is the original wood tone I was going with. So I kept the same wood, but I just swapped it out. I'm sorry, I'm tapping my hand on the desk. Just switched it for lighter tone. But going back to the ceiling, I was trying to fix it, but luckily if you guys do down this lot, and when you play the lot, you won't need to, or you're obviously not gonna, the ceilings will be down, so it won't be so obvious or bothersome. So I ended up just keeping it, because I really tried, don't know what that was. If you guys know why that happens, my guess is that because of the ceiling pieces, because I used a lot, not a lot, but I used more than the usual amount, and I feel like that is probably why it was bugging out a bit. Because even try to refresh the game, it made me thinking it was like a glitch or something of that sort. Because I also built this with the tool mod. As you can see, the top right, my UI is a bit mixed up. So at first I thought it was that, and then I got rid of the UI, but for some reason it didn't fix itself. So don't know what that was about. And yeah. And also, one thing I want to say that I did differently, I am happy with this build, but I felt that I could have done a little, I don't know, something was, it honestly grew on me. I'm not gonna, I was like, I don't love it as much as my last build, but I'm still happy with the result. But one thing I did differently was, I did the windows before I did the floor plan, so I was limited in that way. And so maybe I'm thinking that could have been an issue. One thing I wanted to do with these side pieces here, those roofing, I wanted to get, because on the inspiration or reference of the build, the 50 Bullies Alley, they had this, like the slanted parts of the roofing, so I thought that they had to get rid of the walls and keep the roof piece, or just to keep that slanted position. I'm not sure how they did that. I didn't really look too much into it. I just looked at the exterior of the lot that they did. Again, I don't remember what the ID is of the person who made it, but yeah, I really liked how it looked, especially because for Oasis Springs, it has that especially the house nearby has that 70s retro, I guess, kind of style, and I felt that because the reference lot was in the 50s style, I thought, that would be a great way to make it, because I feel like mid-century roofing, especially when it's of this style, not modern, is very difficult for me, because also I'm not great with roofs. That's another struggle I have, on top of not being familiar with the build style. Yeah, but I want to say right here, you see, if you guys see what I mean by being a little bit too dark and a little bit cold tone. So I'm happy with what I did end up with. I think lighting it up definitely helped, especially with the surrounding landscape being, just sand and rocks. I felt it was too dark of a palette. And yeah, so I'm glad I changed that. Now looking at it, it's a little, yeah, I feel like this is definitely better for Copperdale San Sequoia, because of the warmer wood tones in them. Because I'm pretty sure the landscaping of those two worlds are more, yeah, they're more forest-like. Well, San Sequoia is not really that much forest-like, but if you know what I mean. It's more, there's more greenery and such, so it would blend in better with that. But yeah, originally this lot, if you guys see in my community post, was gonna be a pottery studio. And I'm thinking I may do the pottery studio in the lot over. I'm still not sure what to do, because now that I'm looking at what is around, no, is that a sentence? Now that I'm looking at what is around this area, I feel that I'm trying to see what would work, because we have the vacation rental area or home, little Airbnb, the chapel, the wedding venue, and the restaurant. And then I have the bowling alley. So I'm trying to think. I might as well keep it. Again, I said in my last video I do too many community lots, and I really need to get back into doing residential lots. But I will definitely have, get into it. There's one area of Oasis Springs. Not sure what the area is called, but it's that grassy little neighborhood with 5 lots, I believe. I'm gonna turn that into a, like a, what do you call those? Like a gated community kind of vibe. The more not upscale, but and not just bigger houses. So I'm gonna try that, because I usually don't do homes of that style. I'm like more of a simplicity family homes. That's usually the style I like to build in, but I feel that would be a good area to build that, because I was originally wanted that to be a plaza, because I already made the other location that I just finished up with my last video with the lounge. That's already in a plaza, so I didn't want to make another one. And I really needed to do some more residential areas, because I did one home in this build and it's not even a residential, it is a vacation rental spot. And I kept it a vacation rental just because in this area, I feel like a home would be, I don't know, actually wouldn't be too weird, but I felt that this could be a good spot for Airbnb. And yeah, now I'm thinking about it, I could make the lot over a residential spot, and I could do those homes where it's like, I'm not exactly sure what you call it. It's not really necessarily an apartment, but it's a home with is it, so it looks like one house, but there's 2 front doors essentially, and they're each for their own Oh, I don't exactly. If you guys know what I'm saying, I'm not sure if I'm explaining well. I may do that. I feel like that style could also work nearby, or unless I do like a pottery studio, because I've been wanting to do more of the lot types that came with the business and hobbies, because I haven't really built anything of that lot type. Because, well, I actually did one, which was the toy maker's cottage a few videos back, and I've been wanting to do a pottery studio, or, well, and not really, or I want to do a pottery studio, a dance studio would be kind of fun to do, and a tattoo shop or parlor. And originally I was gonna do a in this lot. I'm not sure. No, actually, it wasn't this lot, but in one of the lots here in Oasis Springs, I was going to do a strip mall kind of area, an outdoor strip mall, and but I'm not sure if the Sims will be able to use it if it's multiple businesses on one lot. I will have to double check, and if you guys do know, please let me know. But if that is not possible, I may just do separate businesses. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure what lots I can do it on. Like the last lot in this area could be maybe a tattoo parlor. I don't think what makes sense, because you have the chapel and the restaurant right across from it. I feel like a tattoo shop would kind of make sense. I may do that actually. Yeah, I think I'll go down that route. We'll see what I decide. It'll be, a later video. But we'll have to see. Yeah, I'm thinking now, think about that. That could be a way to. That's an idea for sure. Yeah. Okay. Because, like I said, the community post that I have of my plan for the Oasis Springs map so far, it's obviously, subjective to changes, but I'll think about it. Let's see what I can come up with. Also here, I was gonna originally, I love the look of the lanes, but one thing I realized, and here, I'm pretty sure, I realized luckily early on, was that there was no bathrooms, and for a second I was thinking of making an extension on the build, just so I would be able to keep the 4 lanes. But because of the shape of the build already, and already dealing with problems with the roofing, as you can see on the ceiling, the darker spots, I didn't want to make it more, or add more, to that. So I just ended up getting rid of a lane and making some bathrooms down that way. And then, let's see what else I did. So I kept with the original, wallpapers, because I know that we're here already a little over halfway, and I still haven't changed the wallpapers. So I ended up sticking for a while. Yeah. Oh, another thing I did for the lot type, because there is no bowling alley lot type, I was looking up on the gallery, and a majority of people put it as a bar, so I ended up doing it as a bar type, lot type, and yeah, it came out well, because that could also, blend in a little with the, I guess check-in and getting your shoes and stuff. So I can see why it was a bar, because I was originally going to do a generic lot type, but I felt that as majority of people have uploaded bowling alleys to the gallery, it was pretty, I guess it was a good to go along with that, And there's also one bowling alley that I really liked. I don't exactly know, but I will leave it in the description so you guys can check it out. I love the way they designed it. And that's the thing, sometimes when I want to see what people have built, I wish I would have thought of that. But I'm still, I'm getting there, learning how to build things. I'm not too worried about it, or not too I'm not like comparing myself that bad, but it's really fun to see what people come up with. And it kind of makes me want to do one specific lot type in different worlds, because as I was doing the nightclub, I don't remember what I ended up naming that lot, but the one I did 2 videos back, I kind of wanted to do nightclubs in different worlds. I think that would be a fun little thing to do. Just to get different, aesthetics. What I base off each world, and like that'd be kind of fun to do. But that was actually, the nightclub was one I really enjoyed building. I was really, I didn't really want it to end, and I'm pretty sure I said that in my speed build. But I really enjoyed having or building that. It was really fun to do, especially because the style is not. It's more of a darker, not darker, color palette. And that's I like that look to it. And here I am switching up to a lighter tone, just because I felt that it was a bit, even though it is more still cool tone, I thought it worked. Actually, now I'm looking at it, I don't know if I stuck with that wallpaper. I actually don't remember the wallpapers I ended up choosing. Now I'm looking at it. Pretty sure it is. And as I was playing, what I want to say, as I was playing on this lot type, or this lot, just to make sure everything is accessible for your Sims if you download this. I didn't know when you click on the bowling alleys, you can do, what was it? Not midnight. It was some name. I don't exactly know what, but it turns your entire, like, turns a lot blue, like the lighting turns blue. And I'm not sure if it always turns blue. I assume so, because nothing around really would reflect blue, because obviously I had the blue windows, and that's my color scheme blue. Some, I don't know what kind of wood that is. I was gonna say oak, but I have no clue what that is. Blue and orange was my color scheme, so the fact that it lit up blue was kind of cool. That it, without realizing it, it fit. I mean, it would fit anyway, because I feel like bowling alleys are very colorful. Like, there was one carpet I was going to do, but I wasn't sure, like, if I was. I feel like if I was gonna go for it, I would have to lean into it more, just so it is more cohesive. But it felt. I don't know if you guys know which one I'm talking about. It's a bluish or indigo carpet with some like squiggles and colorful green, orange, and yellows, and just pattern, like typical what you think an arcade carpet to be like. And I was originally gonna do a separate arcade area in this lot, but I just did a little 2 little games up in the front of by the entrance. Again, because I didn't want to change too much of the build or the structure of the build. So yeah. What else do I have to say? I'm trying to think of what changes I have made, which is one thing I actually struggled with was the bathrooms. I'm pretty sure I showed that I ended up switching out the wallpaper and flooring. One thing that I keep realizing is how much I change my mind during these builds. It kind of makes me want to do a 10-minute build challenge, just because I wonder how that will go with my indecisiveness sometimes. Because here I am changing the wallpaper and flooring for the bathroom. I think I did like 3 or 4 times, or something like that. Yeah, I'm just going through all the options. I like to look through them, and obviously with the limitation of time, you cannot necessarily do that. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it ends up with a blue walls and flooring, because of, obviously my theme or color, theme being, blue and orange. So that, I'm pretty sure. And then I realized as I was building that I didn't add too much orange, and I did make add more orange detailing, just because I felt that it was a bit too blue, and it just felt like blue and white or beige was the color scheme, and I wanted to bring out that blue and orange. color palette. Was another thing I had a little struggle with was this seating area, just because I wanted it to be like an actual layout or close to a layout you see in the bowling places, but because of the limited spacing, I couldn't really get it the way I wanted to. But because it is a small lot, there's only 3 lanes. I feel like this is a local community kind of bowling alley, so that's my my little storyline to why it's kind of compact. Well, actually, not that compact. Your Sims can move around, but it just if you go to a bowling alley, it wouldn't be this close to other people. But yeah. And another thing I wanted to say is that I did a little small sitting eating area. But I realized that the bar you can order food from it, so I wasn't too um worried about that. But I ended up adding a vending machine as well, just because like Sims can have more snack options, so it doesn't feel too much of a obvious bar. I was kind of worried if it was a bar lot that like children or teen Sims wouldn't be able to come onto a lot, but I brought them in there. It was fine because I was wondering how, with it being having to be a bar type lot, would it interfere with it being a bowling alley? But it worked, so that was fine. And here I am, like I'm doing some wall separations to hopefully fix the lighting. Well, also these are for the TV screens, but I did try that technique to maybe section off the rooms or create more rooms, but that didn't help either. So, like it just when you guys down this lot, it will have that dark, patchy spots on the ceiling. But like I said, if you're playing it, you're obviously playing with the ceiling and the walls down sometimes. So, well, all the time really. I don't know anyone who plays The Sims who without doing that, but yeah, so I'm not really too worried about it. Even though I mentioned a few times, I swear I'm not too worried about it. Um, yeah. Oh, actually, another thing I really struggled with is picking the music choice. I ended up going with pop, but I was thinking disco, but I wasn't sure. I was in between those, but I had a um little struggle there, but nothing too crazy. Ended up, like I said, going with pop. Like just generic was the way to go for it. Because when I went to bowling alleys before, it just nothing different from music you hear on the radio. At least I'm not really paying attention to the music when I'm bowling, so I just thought pops should be the way to go. And yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will leave it here so you guys can see the little video tour, and then I'll see you guys next week.